from Abuja.
Hello, thank you for being a part of our show. We appreciate you. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and this is Magnus Kpakol GVA, Global Views Africa. As always, it's all about how we can raise the level of living. That's what it's all about. In view today, how can we provide more electricity to the people? Are there alternative solutions to the energy and electricity problem in Nigeria? Can these solutions help in mitigating environmental pollution in the country? Today we examine various suggestions from experts that have looked at the matter.
Gas flaring is actually criminal.
This is the moment in which Nigeria can decide if it really wants to kickstart its domestic gas market.
But before that, in our hidden economics, we look at the economics in dense energy. Now, up next in our quick view, where are the highest and lowest energy prices? That's coming right up. Is your electricity bill too high? If it is, why is it too high? Is it because of the ridiculous practice by some distributors that is called estimated pricing? Or is it because you are consuming too much electricity? Or is it because the cost of providing electricity to you is prohibitive? Electricity billing in Nigeria still continues to be a much debated issue, as some customers sometimes complain that outrageous estimated bills are given to them, even when the electricity is not supplied. So how should we price electricity? In this connection, in which of the following major economies do consumers pay the highest electricity rate? China, Germany, United Kingdom, or United States of America? In which of the following key African countries do consumers pay the lowest electricity rate? Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, or South Africa? Stay with us for our answers coming up shortly. Still in view, alternative solutions for energy and related problems in Nigeria. But up next in our hidden economics, the economics in dense energy.
Mr. Flavor upon the dance. Obianuju, baby love to dance. Omotola, baby love to dance. Aisha, baby love to dance. Ndaleti, baby love to dance. When she start to the dance, she dey cause the wahala. When she start to the dance, the boys see the wonder. And when she start to the dance, everybody holla. When she start to the dance, she dey scatter the dance floor. My baby dance.
Dance by Chinedu Okoli, better known by his stage name Flavor Nabania, or simply Flavor. Flavor is a Nigerian singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and performer. When you look at the elements of dance, well, that's where people shake their body like this. They include space, that is, movement through physical space. And this could mean vertical or horizontal directionality. Time and rhythm are also involved. If you want to be known as a good dancer, especially in Africa, your timing and rhythm are critical. Otherwise, you can disgrace yourself. Now, one main thing that is left is energy. Energy is all about how movement happens. The experts say that energy is the reason a dance can have so many nuances. Now, the energy can be soft, strong, sharp, powerful, or rich. There's also an emotional part involved. Dancers can communicate the essence and meaning of a dance with the energy they put in. Like electricity, it is the energy that connects the emotions of the dancer and the viewers. So now, where is the economics? Watch. You see, it is in what people call the performance. The performance actually means the energy contained in the innovation, creativity, and expression of emotion. That's what you pay for. The better the energy or the performance, regardless of whether it is soft, strong, sharp, powerful, or rich, the higher the value, and therefore the larger is the payout. People pay for the performance, the attack, the weight, or the flow. Africans can make so much money around the world from dance. Let every village polish up their dance. It is good economics. Our hidden economics for you.
Baby na lady, she know they retire. Baby na lady, she know they retire. Baby na confirm, she know they retire. Baby na crofo, she know they retire. Baby come a little closer, I want to feel your body. Baby come a little closer, I want to spread the money. Because your hips you know they lie, your waist you know they carry. I know go fit deny ya. This girl a waka like me she my baby dance, oh yeah dance, oh my baby dance, oh yeah dance, oh yeah dance, oh my baby dance, oh yeah dance, baby dance.
Before we start our discussion, here are our quick view answers. Germany has the second highest electricity price in the world, with 0.33 kilowatt hours per United States dollar, topped only by Denmark at 0.34. Among our African countries listed here, Ghana has the lowest electricity rate at 0.06 kilowatt hours per United States dollar. Today, we want to examine some alternative solutions to the energy and electricity crisis in Nigeria, and how these solutions can be useful in the fight against environmental pollution. I think we really need a combination of gas-powered energy supply and renewable energy solutions if we are to gain the upper hand on the impossible energy situation in the country anytime soon. I am not confident that practically centralizing everything and using the national grid at the rate we are will bring about significant relief anytime soon. In a documentary, Nowhere to Run, produced in 2015 by the Shehu Musa Yaradua Foundation and Core Productions, and narrated by the late Ken Sarawiwa Jr., we find various experts with some wonderful advice and solutions. Among them is Joseph Hurstcroft, Executive Director of Stakeholder Democracy Network. Mr. Kraft contends that what is holding Nigeria back is lack of access to electricity. He believes that Nigeria can use its flared gas to kickstart a buoyant domestic energy market. One very notable point he also makes is that Nigeria can convert its gas into local power opportunities through containerization, which will bring job opportunities and economic security. Let's hear them all, including Joseph Hurst Kraft.
Nigeria's electricity sector generates only about a fifth of the country's needs.
As we all know, Nigeria is full of amazing entrepreneurs and potential. What is holding Nigeria back is the lack of access to power.
If we have steady power, the issue of youth restiveness, the issue of unemployment can be reduced.
About 15,000 megawatts are generated from diesel generators alone.
If we get our electrical system up and running in this country, we won't be contributing to climate change.
The gas flaring in Nigeria is a travesty. Addressing that would really do a lot to address global warming and climate change. Nigeria, using domestic gas and flared gas, could kickstart its own domestic energy market.
The number one thing Nigerian government should do is to stop gas flaring. Gas flaring has been outlawed since 1984, but it has not stopped for one day. It's against the law to flare the gas. That's why they pay penalty, and the penalty is neither here nor there. So the government should now wake up to its responsibility. We can't afford that wastage. We can't keep on postponing something that is killing our people, something that is wasting our resources, and something that is harming the planet and the people and everything in it.
How could you live in a place that has abundant gas and live in darkness?
As narrated in our Nowhere to Run resource, wind power and solar energy can also help greatly. Let's see this.
Solar and wind electricity can answer the basic power needs of remote and difficult-to-reach communities and contribute to Nigeria's grid.
This is 10 megawatts Katsina wind farm. And the essence of this project is to generate electricity using our natural resources. So by the time we have this then permanently on the grid, found out that half of the energy need of this state will be met. Other states can emulate this project. Maintenance cost is low, and initial cost compared with that of the freezer oil is also low. The rate of payment for this electricity will be low, will be cheaper.
Wind power projects such as this require federal government resources, but solar power can be a small-scale alternative. The Human City project in Port Harcourt is doing just that.
Because we have such terrible municipal provision of electricity, we have a really brutalized environment.
Sometimes we may have a program, our gen will be outside making a lot of noise. Thank God we will have a solution to it. The impact to the community is really huge. Each time you go there, you see people come there to charge their phones when there is no light. We are not paying for the sun, so when we put it on, we cannot say, we are burning fuel, so you're not supposed to come and plug your phones here.
Solar power can work anywhere. This solution is exactly what could be done to power up the rural population.
Now, what is significant is that if we can properly use our gas for power and begin to adopt solar and wind power in addition to hydropower, we will practically solve much of our environmental pollution problems. Let's see how some of the experts have addressed this issue.
This is the moment in which Nigeria can decide if it really wants to kickstart its domestic gas market. If you have one flare that's maybe the equivalent of 35 megawatts of power, why not convert half of that, say, into local power opportunities through a containerized, plug-and-play gas-to-power solution? Some people may say, oh, that sounds quite technically challenging, but actually it's not. It's a basic diesel engine, but with a bit of tweaking, you can run gas through it. If the policy environment is right, You can get these things up and running within 6 months. It's going to employ tens of thousands of people and give energy security for Nigeria. Imagine if giving that economic boost to the country can also reduce the environmental devastation that's happening around gas flaring.
Nemo Bassi, Director, Health of Mother Earth Foundation, states that the amount of gas flared in Nigeria is enough to generate power for the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. He contends that the active gas flare in Nigeria is a major contributor to global warming. Condemning it, he declares that gas flaring is criminal. And Joseph Hurstcraft argues that the amount of gas being flared in Nigeria is equivalent to the annual amount of gas consumed by the country of Brazil. Let's just listen to them.
Gas has been flared in this nation for as long as oil production has been invoked, has started.
The gas flaring in Nigeria is the largest single contributor to CO2 in Africa compared to everything else combined.
About 45 million tons of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere per day during crude oil production.
The gas that's flared is equivalent to the annual amount of gas that's consumed by Brazil.
The amount of gas being burnt is enough to generate power for all of sub-Saharan Africa. And yet we're wasting over $2 billion worth of natural gas every year just going up in smoke. This is really contributing to global warming, and Nigeria can't afford to add up to the problem that we don't have a solution to right now.
Imagine living next to a huge fire every day of your life, giant cigarette, as it were, attached to your entire community that you can never avoid.
So gas flaring causes diseases like cancers, leukemia, causes acid rain because of the sulfur and nitrogen oxides in it. All this affects crops, causes skin diseases, all kinds of breathing difficulties. So gas flaring is actually criminal.
The pollutants released into the atmosphere by gas flaring are not the only harmful side effects of oil extraction. The damage from oil spills on communities and the environment is invasive and sometimes catastrophic.
In a separate but related resource, Faith Nwadishi, Executive Director, Kuyenum Imala Foundation, says that gas flaring is a threat to our fundamental right to life. She cries that the people across many communities go to bed with active gas flares that are dangerous to them. Here is Faith Nwadishi.
I am from Nigeria, and I'm also from the Niger Delta. And in my community, there's an active gas flare site. For me, gas flaring is a threat to my fundamental right to life, because gas flaring hampers my right to a clean environment. Communities don't know the difference between day and night because they go to bed with active gas flare sites. Women go to gas flare sites to dry their fish and sell to the people without knowing the implications of what they are doing. I'm excited to hear that companies are committed to this initiative, and I encourage African countries to take lead in this. We go to bed, we don't have light, we don't have electricity, we don't have water in our homes, but people live in these communities daily. So if we endorse the initiative, we should be committed to take our endorsements, to take our commitments, to take our speeches to action. Let it translate to the change of lives. We want to see, can we also turn around the lives of people who live in these communities? Give them a good environment, give them a right to life. Truly and factually, as we have made those commitments, I want to see action before 2030, that there are no active gas flare sites in my country.
As I've said before, a principal stumbling block in the way of effective economic competitiveness is the lack of electricity. The structural gap in infrastructure, especially in electricity supply in Africa, continues to be a serious handicap to growth and poverty reduction. If we can supply adequate electricity, improve on transportation investments, promote human capital development, and provide freedoms in property rights, we will be able to expand private sector activities, lower the cost of production, create value, and become more globally competitive with rising incomes and a higher level of living. I contend that the darkness caused by the absence of electricity provides cover for poverty to steal the soul of our economy. Poor electricity supply is an accomplice in the theft of our society by poverty. It undermines the potential to grow, as poor people are often unable to connect meaningfully with the mainstream economy. There are two main problems that can develop from poverty. They are poverty stress and an unrighteous economy. Poverty stress resulting from elites trying to cope with overwhelming demands from relatives being pulverized by poverty leads them to find a way, legal or not, to get extraordinary and otherwise impossible amounts of money. Poverty stress can prevent policymakers across board from seeing the best solutions. That said, in the case of electricity supply, can we not create a renewable energy fund for Nigerians to tap into so that every household across the country, urban or rural, can acquire solar energy devices to free it forever from darkness and poverty? I believe this can be done. We can also, as Joseph Hurstcroft has said, provide containerized gas to communities of people and industries across the nation to power gas plants and create jobs. These strategies can quickly end darkness in Nigeria. The people are tired of being the prisoners of darkness and poverty. They are ready to be free. We need policy action to get started. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and that's my view.